Now this week I'm going to do a little bit different with what we're doing for something to talk about. So, saying that, I have a moment I want to talk about. So every so often, if I'm running a little dry on something to talk about that week, if I could have talked, there's things I could have talked about, including, well, I guess not war games, but blood and guts. But what I've done is I'm going to talk about a specific moment, and I will do this from time to time. And this week, it's a moment from almost 20 years ago. I'm not going to tell you right away what it is, but we'll get to it. For years now, we've heard over and over that wrestling is made up of moments, and that everything else is leading to those moments. This week, I wanted to talk about one of those moments. It's true, different moments will connect with us each in different ways, and some moments in wrestling may be high up on one person's list while far down on others. This could very much be one of those moments. For me, a true moment is one that you can remember the feeling you had years later from when it actually happened, like it was just yesterday. This particular moment gives me that, oh my God moment. This is a great example of how moments don't follow one singular formula, and just a mixture of a few different things. Sure, we've seen guys hit moves that we thought may have killed them. Well, maybe not Jericho falling off of the top of Blood and Guts, but you know what I mean. Like, not everything is Mick Foley being sent flying from the top of a cell. This moment doesn't have any of that. Some moments in wrestling history aren't great just because of the crowd. While this particular moment was done in the location it was done in, because they knew the live crowd would give WWE a reaction. It wasn't one of those things like fans chanting for Hogan at WrestleMania 18, because that reaction that happened on this night was the expected reaction from the crowd in Philly. Sometimes a huge name coming out or returning will create a huge moment. And while one of those in this angle would later become a WWE Hall of Famer, at the time the biggest name involved was Kane. And no offense to the mayor of Knox County, but it takes more than just him to create a moment. What is the moment, you ask? Well, if you haven't figured it out by now, let's give a little background. This moment occurred on just a random episode of Monday Night Raw in July of 2001. July 9th, 2001 to be exact. The WCW invasion of WWF was in full swing, but they had yet to experience a moment that made you say, damn, these guys could actually be a threat. On July 9th, 2001, during a throwaway tag team match, that changed, even if it was just for part of the night. During the show, with absolute no previous build, we were in the middle of a tag team match between Kane and Chris Jericho, representing WWF, facing Mike Awesome and Lance Storm, representing WCW. Out of nowhere, Tommy Dreamer and Rob Van Dam jumped the barricade to attack Kane and Jericho, leading to the match ending in a DQ. That was not the moment. For those who still don't know what happened next. Before what happened next, Tommy and Dreamer and Rob Van Dam were still ECW guys at this time. Both had appeared on Raw in the past, but not since the end of ECW. This was essentially the debut of both in WWE as contracted workers outside of kayfabe. In hindsight, we know how big of a deal it was for those two to join the company. But at the time, it was what happened next that made that a truly memorable moment. As Mike Awesome and Lance Storm of WCW beat down Jericho and Kane of WWF with the help of Rob Van Dam and Tommy Dreamer, 6 WWF guys came down to the ring to help. But who they were there to help was what shocked us all, or just made us mark out like crazy. Just incredible, Raven, Rhino, Taz, and the Dudleys all formed a line between the 2 WWF guys and the other 4, facing the other 4 with their backs to the WWF guys. It didn't take long for fans like myself to look at that ring and for that light bulb above our heads to go off. It went off about 1 second before they turned around and Paul Heyman, a commentator at that time for Raw, yelled, "Feel this moment, JR." And we still feel it to this day. At that very moment, we got the excitement of what could possibly happen as ECW had joined the invasion. This was 2001, not 2021. Thanks to Tony Khan, we are able to get a lot more dream moments happening to the point it is becoming normal. Before July 9th, 2001, the closest thing that we got involved 2 of the men in that ring that night, when WCW wrestler Mike Awesome defended the ECW title against WWF wrestler Taz at an ECW show. That moment on July 9th, 2001 was everything that the invasion angle could have been. Exciting, full of possibilities, memorable. Of course, later in the night, it was revealed Stephanie McMahon had bought ECW, and we now had the Alliance. It is what it is now, but for that moment, one that will live forever with me, the invasion was awesome, and everything we all wanted it to be. So I want to hear from you now. What is a moment in wrestling history that does that to you? What makes you look back and be like, wow, that was really a great moment? That is something that made me feel something, and still makes you feel that something when you think back at it. Let me know in the comments. Let me know. Give us a like if you agree with us on what we think about that moment on July 9th, 2001. Do you remember watching that live when it happened? What did you think about it when it was going on? Did you mark out like us? I want to know. Let us know.